So this is definitely not your mother's green smoothie. It's not your daughter's green smoothie either. This is a miso, sesame, and greens smoothie. So to begin with, we start with 3 cups of water. This will serve 2 people a pretty decent portion. We start with 3 cups of water that have been boiled and cooled down just a little bit, because when you're working with miso, you don't want to use boiling water because you'll boil out the beneficial enzymes and the beneficial flora. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 cups of water into my Vitamix. And if you want a nutritional boost to this recipe, you can use broth, which is also really wonderful. If you're somebody who's on a paleo diet, for example, you could use a bone broth. You could use a vegetable broth. I've made this smoothie with a mushroom broth that's been really delicious. So that's just an option that's available to you. So I've got 3 cups of water in my Vitamix. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of chickpea miso. And if you're familiar with miso, miso is a fermented soybean paste. It originates from Japan. Actually, traditional miso is made with soybeans because that was very popular in Japan. But nowadays in our culture, there's a lot of issues around soybeans. So this is a miso that comes from a company called South River, which I really like. And it's a chickpea miso. It's really, really lovely. It has a really kind of buttery flavor. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my miso in there. The next ingredient that I'm going to put in is going to be 1.5 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is a great product. It's kind of a really lovely food supplement to have in your kitchen. It can be a really good cheese substitute if you're vegetarian or vegan. Nutritional yeast is a great source of vitamin B12, which if you're vegetarian is kind of hard to get because B12 for most people is found commonly in meat. The thing that's also great about nutritional yeast is that it's a great source of chromium, which is a trace mineral that helps you stabilize your blood sugar. So it's a great thing to have for breakfast. My next ingredient is brown sesame seeds. And sesame seeds are a really wonderful source of calcium and fiber, and flavor-wise, they're a great complement to the natural flavors of miso. The next ingredient that I'm going to put in is a very common ingredient to most smoothies. It's cashews that I soaked in hot water, both to soften them and make them more digestible, and also to leach out the anti-nutrients or phytic acids that block absorption of the vitamins that are in cashews. So I'm going to go ahead and just drain these like so. And again, this is in terms of soaking cashews first thing in the morning for breakfast. If you do this while you're heating your water for your coffee, you can just soak them for 15 minutes or so. It doesn't have to be a terribly long time. There we go. So we're putting the cashews in. Then my next ingredient is a piece of seaweed. And this is nori, which is wild Atlantic nori. This is a very common seaweed that you get when you go to the sushi bars. Usually you see it, it looks like, sheets that have been pressed out, but this is a little bit more wild state. So nori has a lot of trace minerals in it that are really beneficial to your health. I'm also going to add a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of garlic. We don't want to have so much garlic that we get garlic breath first thing in the morning, but garlic is such a great antioxidant and booster, just nutrient booster, and it's also really, really delicious. And it goes again with like the sesame seeds, the miso, and so on. I'm going to go ahead and chop up a few pieces of ginger root, just like so. Just a few little medallions of ginger. Ginger is a really, really great thing on so many levels. It's such an amazing food. But especially if you're trying to regulate your body weight, ginger helps to stimulate metabolism. So it essentially helps you to burn calories faster. Ginger is also really good. It's very warming. It's also one of the most potent anti-inflammatories that we know of. So I'm also going to add some greens to the smoothie, but I'm going to wait on that for just a minute. I want to go ahead and blend this and kind of get this going, and then I'll add the greens in just a second. The last ingredient I'm going to add is going to be some greens. So this is a green smoothie, but it is a different kind of green smoothie. The greens that I have here include some baby beets and young kale, and it looks like some collard greens here. This is a greens mix that I got at the store. And what I'm going to do, since this is a warm smoothie, I'm going to go ahead and put these guys all in. And the ratio of greens to liquid is about 1-to-1. So I started out with 3 cups of liquid. I'm going to just use 3 cups of greens as well. So I'm going to put these guys in here. And then I'm just going to wilt them down. Because it's warm, they will wilt, which is really nice. This is such a great smoothie if you really want something warm and wonderful on a winter day. If you're feeling immunocompromised in any way, like if you have a flu or a cold or something, and you just need something super nutritious to get your day started. And it's also a really great drink as an alternative to coffee, because this will actually support your adrenal glands at the start of the day rather than depleting them in the way that coffee does. The very last thing that I'm putting in is just a little pinch of Himalayan salt. Okay, here we go. There's my green smoothie. My warm, savory, fermented smoothie. Isn't it beautiful?